سلامت باشین. به ویبینار امروزی خوش آمدین. مهمان امروز ما پروفسور بوجا هستند. پروفسور بوجا یکی از کسایی هستند که در حوزه سایبر سیکیوریتی از ظرفیت و توانایی فوق‌العاده برخوردار هستند. ایشان دکترای خود را در قسمت سایبر سیکیوریتی دارند. در ضمن پروفسور بوجا متخصص و مسئول در ICT اکادمی هستند و امروز برشان خوش آمدید میگیم. شما دوستا میتونین سوالایتان در قسمت سایبر سیکیوریتی، در قسمت ای که چطور در امتحانات سایبر سیکیوریتی را پاس بکنین و سرتیفای شوین، از پروفسور میتونین که پرسان بکنین. Dear Professor Buja, most welcome to this session. Thank you for your support and cooperation.
Thank you, Dr. Javed, and all of you. Hi, all of you, and Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Professor Buja. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing. Please start the session.
Okay, thank you. Let me just share the screen first of all.
Yes, please.
You are seeing the screen? Right now? Yes. Okay, good. Let me continue my talks for today's session, in cybersecurity session for the FemTech. Let me thank you very much, Dr. Javed, and all FemTech organizations that is conducting such activities for all of you students that you participating here to get the knowledge and to advance your skills towards more professional individuals in the cybersecurity. I will try in my today's session to talk and discuss and transfer all my knowledge and experience within the cybersecurity, and I will try to mention those points that mostly can be considered by you as a career advancements on your life journey in the education of cybersecurity. So little words, some words about me myself. I've been in IT in the last 20 years, working in the public sectors, almost 20 years in the public sector for my own government. I worked in IT sector particularly. And with the cybersecurity, I started in 2013. Has been 10 years since I'm engaged in the cybersecurity. And I led very often engagement and projects with industry, doing penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, risk assessment. All those that I'm mentioning are the activities that are within the cybersecurity. I will try to explain the essentials and basics and try to talk more in the basic and medium level of expertise. And I will consider all of you as introductory to the cybersecurity. It is better this way so you can understand all what I'm talking about. And at the end of this session, we will have a discussion and questions. Please write somewhere or don't forget to ask. At the end, we will have a talk and discussion among us. So I have been engaged in cybersecurity. When I engage in cybersecurity, I focus mostly on the technical skills, expanding my technical skills. And also later on, I tried to provide and prepare courses for different students, peoples, individuals. And right now, in the last years, I have been providing courses in penetration testing, cybersecurity for the different companies abroad, online, with an online presence. So not just this, but also I'm engaged in private sector. I have my own company, my own team, where we work and we are engaged with an industry in cybersecurity. We mostly do different assessments towards different targets, database, web application, information system, sensors, and so on. Since my research field and my study field of PhD is cybersecurity for industrial IoT, for the sensors, I will relate some parts of my talks and presentations to that point. but I will explain also other targets, other potential targets that could be as a database web application, because you wanted to understand more from that. And I've been in those last 10 years, I've been engaged in different activities with the students at the colleges, at the companies, doing hackathons. Hackathons are the events where we conduct ethical hacking, like penetration testing, and the students try to gather as much as they can information and vulnerabilities of that target that we prepare for them. And we use very often conducting such hackathons here in my region, and also we have done some even online. And other activities was workshops for different audiences, but mostly I am engaged in dealing with the students, with the young generation from high school to faculty studies, bachelor and master level. So starting from an introduction, starting from the first point, what is cybersecurity? What is considered cybersecurity? Every time when we talk about cybersecurity, we mess this concept, the definition, this aspects of cybersecurity with different things, with the social media, with IT, but it's completely different. As a definition I stated here, as you are seeing, cybersecurity refers to the collective methods, technologies, techniques, and processes designed to protect some IT assets. What IT assets can those be? IT assets can be network, devices, programs, data from the attack, from the cyber attack, from the malicious actors. We call it malicious actors, the real hackers, the organizations or individuals that try to cause harm you. And all those have their main intention and the main aim of having unauthorized access in those IT assets. This is the main definition of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is an approach, process, techniques, methods, tools to protect those IT assets from malicious actors or hackers or attackers, where they try every time to cause you harm, to disrupt your normal operation of your system, web application, website, database, device, or network. So those components that we mentioned, like network security, application security, endpoint security, data security, identity management, database and infrastructure security, cloud, even cloud security mostly lately, are very often utilized by the different companies and organizations. Mobile security and disaster recovery, business continuity plan, all those components need to have a protection, need to have a cybersecurity protections or defense mechanisms or detection mechanisms toward to face those threats, those cyber attacks that are arising, and time by time and day by day, you are seeing that the new technological development has brought more advanced attacks, cyber attacks and threats in techniques and methods. Those are using more methods and algorithms by the AI. They are using the blockchain for conducting such activities. And the most high sensitive attacks and threats are those that are used as a ransomware, malwares. Those are very, very risky if they get touched our infrastructure or the organization or company infrastructure. So from a threat landscape, common threats include such as you have heard about malware, phishing, ransomware, and advanced persistent threats, APTs. Mostly people call those. What are APTs? APTs are a group of hackers, of professionals with high level expertise, of technical expertise, and those are the criminal groups. So those are the malicious actors, hackers, and those target the critical infrastructure of the particular country. They attack countries, armies, big organizations, corporates. Those are very advanced high skills, technical skills of hackers. And malware, phishing, ransomware, we have heard, those are the very advanced and the has high impact within your infrastructure. if you get touched, get caught by those threats, and those can pose a very significant risk to your infrastructure, to your devices, information system, website, web application, and whatever. So as I mentioned, with all those technological development that we are experiencing lately, mostly before after the pandemic time, and has advanced the threats and cyber attacks in methods and techniques that they are using. And every day is getting more complicated and more challenging to defeat or to face those threats and cyber attack by organizations and companies. So I've showed here a triangle of integrity, availability, and confidentiality. What are those three things? Maybe you have heard about the information security. This is a base, fundamentals thing in information security, but also for the cyber security. In every activity that we will going to be engaged in security, cyber security, IT security, data security, we need to consider those three elements of this triangle of integrity, availability, and confidentiality. Whenever we choose to implement a security policy within an organization or conduct such activity like penetration testing, which is one of the many activities within the cybersecurity where you test the target for the potential vulnerabilities and threats. And you need to have in mind those three components, those three elements of the information security. Those every time needs to be in balance, so you could never try to enforce one and the other two left behind, because you will have a breach. You are going to have a breach, or you're going to have a very bad system of the security within your organization or your company. So cybersecurity ensures that integrity, confidentiality, and availability of information are every time balanced, and we need to protect those three components, and so we can be in a better and enhanced level of security posture of our infrastructure. Let's move further. Let's talk more about the importance of cybersecurity. The importance, cybersecurity is important because of the data protection, financial implication, trust and reputation, and national security. Let's discuss each one of those points and try to explain more why is this important because of those points, because why such particular points. Those are just the main points that we will talk. We will have also on other aspects that could be very important for cybersecurity. So data protection. We know that data is everything in today's world, in digital worlds that we are living and experiencing digital and technological development. So data is most valuable assets that you might have as individual, professional in IT, in cybersecurity, as organization, company, or country. So those are value for different audiences, as individuals or as businesses. So personal data can close sensitive information of ours. Today this concept has expanded also with biometrics and medical health data. All those considers the personal data of the individuals. And while businesses might possess those kind of data for their customers and trade secrets and patents and more, cybersecurity is needed to be there to aim and to provide a safeguard, a protection for those data from threats and attacks of unauthorized and malicious activity, unauthorized acts, malicious activity that we mentioned. APTs mostly and hackers, individuals, are targeting mostly those businesses that have such kind of data, and try to get an unauthorized access, make a data breach there, do a data leakage, steal those data, and try to benefit for their own malicious activities that they are engaged more. So it is very important to protect those data, and this can be achievable and can be through the cybersecurity protection and defense mechanisms that we might find a solution and put there in place, implement as a security control within our infrastructure to defend against the threats and cyber attacks. Of course, financial implications. If you got a data breach, if you got attacks, cyber attacks in your organization, your infrastructure, you will have implication in financial, you will have impacts in financials, because you need some money to invest and to enhance that part of the infrastructure that got hit by a cyber attack or other unauthorized access of malicious activities that has been conducted towards your infrastructure, your organization. Trust and reputation is very important. Businesses mostly focused. This point is not focused on the businesses, and even even for the countries, to maintain their trust and their reputation in the public domain. So especially in the digital space. A single breach can significantly bring down whole company organizations, leading to loss of customers and revenue incomes and such bad things from a trust and reputation point. The last one is more dealing with countries and critical infrastructures that are considered as a national security. Cybersecurity is very important when it comes to those critical information infrastructure that we call them. Those can be power plants, water plants, transportation. Those are considered as a network within the country. Those are considered the critical information infrastructure. And cyber attacks can target, and every time are targeting those critical infrastructures, such as I mentioned power grids, financial systems, and healthcare services, transportations, water plants, those kind of critical infrastructures can be targeted by those malicious actors or hackers. So it is very important to have cybersecurity considered, and not just one time, not just once. Needs to be a life cycle, a closed life cycle, which never stops. Every time you try to identify the potential vulnerability that might exist within your infrastructure, try to mitigate those, exploit further to verify if those vulnerabilities exist for sure in your infrastructure, then try to mitigate and try to fix those vulnerabilities, not just leaving there. I know that those are there and just leaving there. No, it's not just enough. It's not enough to just identify and leave there as they are, as they exist. You need to fix those, and you need to make updates and upgrades to your systems, and again, try to redo what you have done in the first place. Identifying, exploitation, verification of those vulnerabilities, fixing, mitigation of those, update, upgrade, and so on. And cybersecurity is a closed life cycle that never stops. If you wanted to maintain a level of security posture that you will face against cyber attacks and various threats that are becoming more advanced, as we said, in methods and techniques. So implication, what does it do? What's happened if we have a weak cybersecurity can be a question, can be a discussion. And those weak cybersecurity can bring business disruption, as we said. We will not have a normal operation. We will not work properly, normally, with our information system, network, and everything, and other IT digital assets. Without effective cybersecurity, businesses risk to significant disruptions of their normal operations. And those can be due to the ransomware, malware attacks, and leading to the financial losses, impacts on financials, and also damaging the trust and reputation to the customers, to their customers. The second thing is information breach. When we will have weak cybersecurity, we're gonna experiencing an information breach. The leakage of any particular confidential information in our organization is bad, is a very bad thing. And for individuals, this could mean identity theft, financial fraud. someone stole your identity, someone stole your credit card or your bank account money. Those can be impacts of such information breach to the individuals. And economic cost is also involved due to the loss of trust in digital transactions. When people start to not trust the digital transaction of a particular company or bank, as well as cost associated with remediation after a cyber attack. Because every time a breach, a cyber attack happens, there is a cost behind that to fix that, to mitigate, and to remediate that cyber attack and bring to the normal operation that part of the infrastructure that was hit by the cyber attack. Also has impact on psychological aspects for individuals. Experiencing cyber attacks can be stressful and lead to feelings that individuals feel not safe in using the internet, digital worlds, and things like that. So let me just show you some other experience and some other knowledge regarding the sensors, which is my field within the cybersecurity. What you are seeing here is a sensor, but it's not just common sensors that you can find in a store and try to buy it. Those are the industrial sensors, industrial Internet of Things sensors. Those are more specific to be used in industrial settings, in industrial environments. Those can provide different features by collecting data, analyzing, and collecting to the main central point where it will be configured to send those, to transfer those data through the network or the wireless sensor network. So industriality refers to the use of connected devices and sensors with the goal and the objective to collect data and improve efficiency in industrial settings. The utilization of such sensors brings the automatization of the industry, different industrial sectors within the country and the world. It's a network. What's this industriality? It's a network of connected physical devices, which most of those are the embed sensors and connected to the internet, where they are allowed for the collection and exchange of data. And those sensors has come after the ICS SCADA systems that we may know. Traditionally, factories, industry sectors before was working, even some in today, was working in old systems. Those are called ICS SCADA. And in today's, with advancements of technology, they are utilizing more the IoT, Internet of Things, but the industrial IoT has become more regularly, commonly used by the industry, which is specific targeted for the industrial sectors. So in the next slide, I will show you a big network of those sensors and where might be the weak points, weak places, where might cyber attacks or threats might occur. I will relate all those sensor information to the cybersecurity and to see further where could be those implications, those impacts of cyber attacks and threats that might hit those kind of networks. Here you are seeing a big network of one of the industry. In this case is industrial plant control network. And on the right side, you have all the network, all the servers, computers. In the middle are the other part of the networks, which deals with intranet and internet, public and private. And on the left side are the different systems within the factory, within the industry organization that use those IT assets to operate and to generate industrial operations. So those in the red, those you are seeing that in the red to the schema, to the diagram, DOS flood, the network, unauthorized access, firmware exploitation, device theft, malicious code inject ransomware, sniffer, and the places where is where you are seeing where is put it, is the place where commonly can occur those cyber attacks, or those threats might pose a risk for a cyber attack to one of the particular example of industrial network infrastructure. So you are seeing it's very vulnerable, and every time we can experience different and various attacks that you are seeing those in different parts of the network infrastructure. Some attacks are related to the sensors, some are to the infrastructure, some to the devices, and all those can bring down the whole infrastructure of these organizations. That's why it's very important to have a cybersecurity strategy in place. We mentioned here something, incident handling in cybersecurity strategy. An organization should have a cybersecurity strategy. After that, should design and prepare a plan how to protect, to defend their IT assets, digital infrastructure, network infrastructure against cyber threats. And within that plan, a process called incident handling is going to be prepared and designed, and you don't have, and there is no need to design something from scratch, from zero. You have those incident handling procedures in different standards, in different frameworks. You just need to reference and to analyze those standards and references and try to integrate that incident handling procedure for your own organizations. What is incident handling procedure in this example, where we need to have it within our cybersecurity plan? Incident handling deals with a situation where cyber attacks or different security incidents might happen within our infrastructure. And in that moment, when this security incidents happens and we have a cyber attack, we need to have a kind of plan that coordinate us as a people, as administrator of the IT security department, IT department and other departments, what we need to do in such situation. That's why we need incident handling. It's there are two different aspects of incident management. Is incident planning and incident handling procedures. Those two goes together. And when we have and experience the cyber attack incidents, we need such incident handling and planning handling procedures to have in place. Which could help us and utilize and supports and facilitate us as a people of that organization what need to do in such particular situation of that cyber attack or security incidents. So we are seeing what we are seeing here in the network diagram. We are seeing the common attack vectors. We call it in cybersecurity, we call it attack vectors. Later on, I will describe and explain you what those mean for real and try to distinguish from attack vectors and attack surface and cyber attacks. Attack vectors represents the potential entry points for cyber attacks within our infrastructure. So those in the red are vulnerable points in the network that might exist, might, not for sure, might. And to identify if those exist, we need to conduct such called activity penetration testing or vulnerability assessment. Depends on the organization's infrastructure. So as a countermeasures, we call it in cybersecurity countermeasures. What are countermeasures? Countermeasures are the security control or the protection that we put something on the infrastructure, and those things, those security controls protect us from cyber threats and cyber attacks. And we call it countermeasures protection. And those can be in different points that you are seeing here on the left side. Can be incident strategy, security policy, risk assessment, different activities within cybersecurity that we want to engage and use for protection and defense of our infrastructure against cyber attacks. So try to keep in mind about your safety when you use the internet, when you use different sources within the internet. Try to be safe. Here, I mentioned some of the safe online habits for you. Keep in mind every time. There is not enough that you best IT guy, IT individual, your best cybersecurity professionals, and you don't need to be careful when you use the internet or digital infrastructure, digital assets within the internet or different services. Every time, even me, with all those experience, even me, I be careful when I use internets and different services within internets, because those can bring you down, can bring you to the identity theft. Somebody steals your identity, steals your bank account and your personal information within your device, your laptop, your PC. Please be careful on those points. Use strong, unique passwords. Those days we can use our smartphone to have a multi-factor authentication, something that is more than passwords, not just the password. Those are very commonly used methods and techniques today from individuals, even the businesses. Recognize and avoiding phishing. How to do that? When you have in your inbox an email that you don't understand and you do not expect that particular email to come to you, just delete it, just block it. Do not read it, do not go within it, do not open it, because that is for sure a phishing, a malicious activities trying to attack you through the email. Use safe browsing methods. Try to, every time when you visit a website, use an HTTPS. HTTPS is certificate, it's a SSL certificate where you provide such a certain security and provide you the authentic websites that you are, it provides the authenticity of that website that you are visiting, that you are browsing. Be careful from wireless networks in the public places. Be careful from those when you connect. When even you need to use those wireless, public wireless, use those just for browsing something or call someone. Do not use those connection to those Wi-Fi's to exchange passwords, rights access to somewhere. Please do not use those, because those can be in the hands of a hacker, of a malicious actors, and those can be leaked passwords within the internet or the dark web. Here, I was trying to explain and to distinguish those three things within the cybersecurity that we call it: attack surface, attack vectors, and common cyber attacks. Every time where we conduct a penetration testing, a vulnerability assessment towards an organization, different targets, we go by this approach. First of all, even technically, we try to identify an attack surface. Within those mentioned with those numbers 1, 2, 3.2, to the first box to the left, attack surfaces are some of the examples of the attack surfaces that might exist within that target. Web application, infrastructure, database, whatever it is. So, first of all, we started by identifying the attack surface. We're trying to identify what's physical security, what's ports are open, which are closed, which are blocked. And after that, we went further, trying to identify the attack vectors. Attack vectors are the services that are related, that are running within a certain port. For example, 1433 is Microsoft SQL Server, is a database server port. We might identify an open port of such 1433, which is a Microsoft SQL Server port. After that, we try to identify which service is utilizing that port, and it shows us that is Microsoft SQL Server. This moment is an attack vectors identification. And after that, we try to identify threats and potential vulnerabilities by conducting cyber attacks in ethical way, because we are engaged as a penetration tester to conduct ethical activities towards that organization that has hired us to identify vulnerabilities, what's their security posture. And in the cyber attacks, we try to exploit and try to verify and identify as much as vulnerability as we can. The same logic, the same way, the same methods use even the hackers, the APTs, the malicious actors that we mentioned. That's why when you, if somebody has participated in the course of Adthe, Certified Ethical Hacker, which is provided from EC Council, I will share with you at the end. You will see that there you will learn the same methodology, the same logic, the same methods and techniques that hackers use. That's the only way for we as ethical hacker, as penetration testing, as people called to protect the infrastructures can win on them, on the hackers. It's the only way to use the same techniques, methods, but just from a different place, from different perspectives, from an ethical aspects, from an ethical perspective. Here you are seeing a use case. A use case is an example of within an industry of the sensors, of the industrial IoT sensor. For this example is a simple IoT. MQTT is every sensor, every IoT sensor needs a protocol to have a communication and to be integrated within the network infrastructure. So they are using protocols. MQTT here that I mentioned is one of the protocols that has been used for long years in the industry. And suppose here we have a fleet of trucks that are equipped with the sensors to monitor their performance, location, speed, fuel level, whatever we needed for those trucks on the left side. And those sensors periodically you send data to an MQTT broker. You're seeing in the middle, big box of the MQTT broker is a place where it can be a device, it can be a server, whatever, is a place where we collect all those data from the sensors that we collect. Those sensors send to us. And these sensors periodically sends data to the MQTT broker, which could be hosted either in the cloud or in the premises, because in today's businesses and organizations and industry use is very much even both ways. On premises, it means for you that you do not understand, if somebody hasn't heard of those, on premises means that you have a data server, you have a server room within your infrastructure, within your offices, within your organizations. In the cloud means in the cloud, in one of the providers, Google, Microsoft, whatever. And the data could include, and those data that are sent periodically to this MQTT broker, and those data can include information such as I mentioned truck speed, fuel level, engine temperature, and GPS coordinates of that truck. Meanwhile, backend system, from the right side, you are seeing a big monitor with written backend system real-time monitoring. The backend system subscribes the process, the activities, the functionality that to get those data from this MQTT broker is a subscription. It subscribes to the data from the broker and uses it to perform different activities, real-time monitoring. And system generates alerts if anything happens, and this way data are represented to the backend system. There might be a team or individuals that are using those data, and those data are saved even in the cloud and on premises. What's the main point that I showed to you? This one. Let me show. You are seeing the red arrow that are appearing within this. Earlier, I showed you a big network diagram of the industrial IoT sensor with a big network infrastructure of the industrial organization. Here we are seeing a single use case, a single example of sensors integrated within the trucks and communicate with our network and MQTT broker, our server that sends data. In each of those red arrows, an attack might happen. Even the position is very specific, and it shows a real potential of cyber attacks. For example, if a hacker with their own devices, and they can build a lot of different devices, just be close to the trucks, they can hack those sensors and they can manipulate those data, and they can try to reach access to our MQTT broker, which could be thousands kilometers from our trucks. The second thing is on data flow. The hackers try to capture to try to attack with a man-in-the-middle attacks is one of the cyber attacks that try to intercept the session and try to manipulate that for their own malicious aim, activity, objective, what they might have. Other thing is they can attack our MQTT broker, our server, either in cloud or on premises. They can try to attack somebody from inside, even that can happen. Insider threat is known, well-known cyber attacks where somebody from our organization try to hack their own organization. And also at the backend systems might happen in the networks, try to attack some. And also in the cloud or in straight to the infrastructure can try to conduct cyber attacks. Do not forget and remind every time those that in every port of the infrastructure of the communication of different solutions, scenario, use cases, a cyber attacks might happen if we just leave the infrastructure as it is. We build once and we left like that, and we never do a penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, try to identify those vulnerabilities, fix those, and enhance and advance your security posture of your organization infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier, the safe habits when you're online, even here, protecting personal devices. We are seeing the smartphones are very well known and commonly used for everything, for every communication, for every activities that we need to conduct in our daily life. And please, not just smartphone, but even your computer, your laptop, your PC, try to make regular software updates and have antiviruses. The individuals, the people that have Windows operating systems, they have default antivirus Defender, and try to update and to have that online, not switch it off. It's very risky. Try to do backups of your data and all those your things. Do not forget every time, make backups of all your important things that you have it within your devices. And the most important, multi-factor authentication. Use those. Google has an application for the smartphones, Android and iOS, which is a Google Authenticator. It provides a very good multi-factor authentication techniques that you can set up for each of your emails, social media accounts, a multi-factor authentication. And it is better, and it is more advanced security for your own accounts within the internet that you have it. Here are some of my research projects that I have been engaged. I would like to show you those because I want you to see what could be the achievements of your engagement within the cybersecurity, your learning, your knowledge expansions. It will come one day, and after all those working years and experiencing, you will got engaged in the research project, which is very good and very challenging and very good thing where you got on those projects, because you will learn much more than you have learned in the past or to that moment. I am engaged in the different research in cybersecurity, mostly focused on the industrial IoT sensors, where I'm trying to design a machine learning model for protection of those sensors, to have a better approach, better countermeasures approach, protection approach for those sensors. Other researches are I'm building a model in machine learning using the Python. Also, my experience is getting more on learning also Python. If you know, cybersecurity is a better combination to also know the Python code. It's not hard. It's very easy. With a short line of codes, you will have a better results within using Python. It's not just something that is in C# or other languages. It is much easier to learn Python and to understand and to use that within cybersecurity. And I use Python in cybersecurity to make a predictive analysis within the different models for different data sets for the industrial IoT or IoT. Other research that have been engaged is in VSN, wireless sensor nodes. Those are the networks that are used by the IoTs when there is no LAN network, where they do not use the LAN network, they use wireless communication, and they use such VSN nodes. What I'm trying here, I'm using a Contiki operation system simulator, where I simulate the different nodes, normal nodes I represent there, and I put there a malicious node, which tries to every time to attack those normal nodes, those IoT sensors. And I'm in the process of trying to identify, detect those malicious activities, those attacks in VSN for the IoTs. And if we succeeded to identify those, we can mitigate those attacks. We can block it, we can isolate it, and this way we can make a safer place for the IoTs, for the sensor to communicate in VSN networks. And normally, at the end of all those researches and things that I'm doing, a paper publication is written and published in different journals and conferences. I asked also from you to consider this in the future, or for now, or for the next year, to be engaged more in the research projects and conduct more research activities, because that way you will see the challenges and you will see yourself where you stand up and all those things. So also for the social media and cybersecurity is the same thing that I expressed to you for the protection of yourself and devices. Try to recognize and avoid scams. Those days, a very high intention, the traffic of those scams are happening, and every time we got those emails, calls, phone calls, messages, WhatsApp messages, Viber messages from those scams. Try to avoid those and recognize those scams. Otherwise, you will have a bad experience if you got caught by those scams. As I mentioned, penetration testing is one of the many activities in cybersecurity that can be used for identifying vulnerabilities within the infrastructure, within the database, application, information systems, and so on. It involves penetration testing, also known as an ethical hacking process, or security testing is a proactive approach where we try to evaluate for security vulnerabilities, the computer systems, and so on. And those can be computer system, networks, and application. Depends which targets we are trying to evaluate for vulnerabilities. And here on the boxes, you are seeing the process that goes further within the penetration testing. But in the next slide, I will show you more about the details about penetration testing and the tools that might be used or can be used within each phase of penetration testing, because those are more important for you and provide much more details and touchable things. Here are show the different type of penetration testing. We do not have just one penetration testing. We might have the web application penetration testing, which is focused only on the web application, websites, web services, and so on. We might have network penetration testing, which tests only the networks and their devices, and so on. Wireless, social engineering testing, physical penetration testing, and even mobile application penetration testing. Well-known mobile applications that are developed, they need to provide such assessment, such evaluation of security for those mobile applications. Here we have shown how we can differentiate the penetration testing, which is known as ethical hacking and malicious hacking. At the penetration testing, we might need to have an authorization in the first place before we start doing a penetration testing. We need to have an authorization from that company, from that individual that asks us to do a penetration testing. An authorization, mostly a paper, an email can be, where it's written, my name, he or she will do a penetration testing for this certain period of time and towards this target. For example, an IP range or domain name, URL, whatever. And this is one kind of authorizations. And the penetration testing, their purpose is to assess the security posture, to identify the vulnerabilities. And their intentions are clear. They try to identify as much as they can vulnerabilities, not trying to hack you and attack you and make a data breach and steal information from you. But their intention is clear, and everything and all activity are conducted in an ethical way. What it means in ethical way? Penetration testing does not try, and they don't have an aim to cause harm you, to damage, to disrupt your normal operation. Malicious hacking, they don't have authorization. They no need to ask you for permission to attack you or to hack you. And their purpose is for the personal gain, malicious intent, or causing damage, or whatever their intentions are. It might be different. And their main intention is cause harm. And this activity, malicious activity, is not considered ethical. Here is penetration testing steps. Here are 5 commonly used steps. Somebody will tell you there are 6, 7, 4, 5, but those 5s are considered the main ones, and those can cover all those that might be extended. But we use this kind of methodology in penetration testing that has 5 steps. The first one is reconnaissance and information gathering. Is a step where we collect information for our target that we have. We have an organization that has a website. We need to collect and try to identify as much as more information within the internet, in the public sources for that particular website. After that, and down on the boxes, you see use tools. Those are the name of the tools that you can utilize, you can use during those steps, those phases of the penetration test. The second one is vulnerability scanning and analysis, where we use OWSP is one of the manual and automatic tool, is very good and well known, where we can conduct techniques and methods to scan the target website to see if we might find any vulnerability and analyze those vulnerabilities that we found. The third one is vulnerability assessment. Is a phase considered to analyze those vulnerabilities and try to identify as much as more information about that vulnerability, how to fix, how to patch that vulnerability, how to fix that vulnerability and close that threat or risk to potential attack. The fourth step is exploitation and gaining access. What is this? Exploitation, the term exploitation, it means that is a process that verifies the vulnerabilities, because most of the time we got vulnerabilities that are not for sure exist there, but just showing that they exist there. And with the process of exploitation, we verify those. How? In essence, this exploitation is the process where you conduct real hacking activities with an ethical approach, ethical consideration. We try to use those vulnerabilities, try to gain access, unauthorized access. And in this way, you can verify if that vulnerability exists or not. And the last steps, and the most important ones, is document and reporting, where you wrap up all your collection, your information, all those 2 steps, and put it in a report and deliver that to the organization. Cybersecurity career. Try to find your best approach that you will learn more and more, and combine those skills that you will need to have for your job or for your study. Try to identify as much as you can roles within the cybersecurity fields, and try to gain as much as more skills and have certification, qualification, those kind of things. But the most important is try to get engaged in one of the projects, because from there you can learn more from your team members and colleagues and things like that. Those are the 3 main courses for you as the first step to move in the industry and got certified. You will have in the middle is ethical hacking essentials. All those 3 courses are provided from the EC Council. EC Council is the biggest company that providing training and certification in the world. I got their certification, and from that point, I started engaged in cybersecurity. And since then, I'm on that, and I'm expanding, and I will suggest you those. You will find also other courses and certification, but those can bring you in very good positions in the industry when you go to the interview or to the hire processes in different company. When you says I have a CEH, they will look differently, and they will evaluate your skills positively in the cybersecurity. So this was all from me. Thank you very much for listening. And right now I'm open for discussions if you may have. Let me just share. This is my LinkedIn. If anyone who wants to talk and have an explanation, just write me there on the LinkedIn, and no problem, we'll have a chat.
Thank you very much there, Professor Buja, for the nice and great presentation. I'm sure everyone enjoyed and liked the presentation. So right now, if there is any question from the participant, please feel free. Any question?
Yes, it's one in written. May I read?
Yeah.
Okay.
What certification?
To become an expert or a professional in penetration, what certificates, of course, do you advise? The first one that I mentioned is Certified Ethical Hacking, CEH, from EC Council. That's the first certification that you need to finish. And after that, you can go further to the penetration testing. And there exist 3 different levels from the basic one. But it's very important to finish this one because this one gives you a whole foundational skills and experience to know you more about later on the penetration testing. Because what you will learn in this CEH, let me write it here. What you will learn from this course is everything is included within the penetration testing afterwards when you got a chance to take out. So in this course, you will start that path towards the penetration tester professional. And you will learn all the details. It's fundamental for cybersecurity people that are trying to have a career in cybersecurity. And this is not the last session. We will have also other session where we can discuss different topics and things that you might have interest.
Yeah, thank you very much. We will have different session with Professor. So right now, if there is any other question, we have still time for 1 or 2 more questions.
Dr. Javed, I just want to show also them where they can find that course that is provided by me. It's a free, and those I will just share my screen.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to share with all of you a website, which is my own website and my platform, where I provide courses. Those can be learned from distances, is online courses. And we have there one of the courses which is free, and it is Introduction to Cybersecurity. And at the end, when you finish all those tests and watch those videos, you will have a certification by me as instructor as a certified ethical hacker. I'm copying the link to the chat. Please save that link afterwards. When you got to this link, you just need to go here to the Introduction to Cybersecurity. Just click it there. It's this one. Choose this one. And when you got this one, when you are here, you just need to click on Take this course, and it will redirect you to the registration, because this one is after this registration, use a Gmail or Hotmail, whatever your email. This is your account, is auto enrollments, and after that, it will redirect you to this link. First of all, you need to make the registration. So at the end, when your certificate is generated, need to put your name. Be careful what name you will put. Put your real name. So at the end, you will have certificates under your name. And here, you will get redirected. Let me show where it's that. Those are different courses that are provided. you will be redirected to this course automatically. No need to access again. And this is the course. And if you have difficulties, just write me on my contact. And it's very easy. It's commonly used LMS is open source, and you just go material by material. Every step has a video material, text material, and even the test for the end of the. So it's a final exam, and you will generate a certification. And all those videos are taught by me, explained by me, and you will learn. You will have those introductory thing on cybersecurity. Get an advantage, and every time you have a chance to have such free courses, free certificates, get that. Get that is because it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, dear Professor Buja.
There is one question. Does need any prerequisite course for take this course? No. You just need to make that registration. It's free. It's on your own. Whenever you have time, you can start, pause, or stop it, and continue after that. It's no need.
Is there any other question from the participant? No. I think we have no any other question. Thank you very much, dear Professor. We will be in contact, and for sure we will have different other sessions in the future. We are appreciating your support and your cooperation for FemTech and for our students. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, and God bless you.